Three elements that we want to showcase: the new visual style, something that's a little more bold, a little more memorable, and that really conveys, oh, this is Dragon Age, not just fantasy. So that's a big element of what we're showcasing, and in motion it looks fabulous. Combat's another huge element for us. We want to make sure that, you know, when you push a button, something happens immediately, and ideally it's something awesome. So the big part for us, of course, is that we say, you know, more responsive combat. So I want to close in with enemies. I want to unleash my arrow the moment I give an order. I don't want, you know, my followers to take them like suggestions. So the end result then is combat that's more fast and furious, but still maintains that tactical edge. We can still sweep around. You can pause the game. You can, you know, position your fireball. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. And finally, a storytelling technique we're really excited to roll out, which is called a frame narrative. That's been done before in movies like The Usual Suspects or Princess Bride, but essentially it's never been done in games to this degree, where two characters are telling a story about your character, but their story is constantly evolving based on the way you choose to play and the choices you make over the course of the game.
And there are men who embrace destiny and do not show their fear.
The nice thing about Hawke being a character who is, you know, someone legendary, essentially, the champion of Kirkwall and someone seemingly responsible for events that brought the world to the brink of war, well, that's an intriguing question. Who is the champion of Kirkwall? Who is Hawke? How did these things happen? So instead of relying on, you know, the ancient evil or some sort of force that you have to turn the tide, I think that this game is unique in that it asks players a question, and really by playing, you're also the one answering it. First off, you're able to bring in information from your game. So if you played Origins, you played Awakenings, you can bring that data forward. So the world is going to reflect it. You're not bringing a single character forward, you're bringing the whole world with you, which is nice. Who's on the throne of Ferelden? You know, how did things turn out? The end of the Blight? That's all pretty important stuff. We start about a year before the end of Origins, actually. This is it's kind of a unique style of storytelling where our goal is to cover an entire decade of history. So a big part of starting in Origins is to say we can kind of ground players in events and situations that would have been critical for them to understand. So if you're someone new to Dragon Age, you can jump into DA2, get quickly brought up to speed, and then proceed forward. The thing is then, in terms of the future, we're going to cover 10 more years. So while we start in the middle of Origins, you're going to see the repercussions of the events as we jump forward through the frame narrative. In terms of the continuity, I think that it's really important to say that it is part of one large story, and that while we jump forward, what I see it is not losing chunks of the game so much as losing the parts that are less interesting. You know, it's kind of like, you know, in the course of your average life or even your average day, there are moments where you're just kind of, you know, not doing all that much important. So our goal is to say, you know, we want to tell the story of the most interesting moments in the life of the man or woman that changed the world. There will definitely be Hawks who've achieved their goals through different ends, right? We know that Hawke is heading for one goal, and by the end of things, he'll probably get there. But in terms of that, there's a lot of variety. I mean, are you a rogue, a warrior, or a mage? Are you male? Are you female? Do you have the beard? Do you not have the beard? All of these things are critical. Maybe not the beard thing. But more importantly, you know, the choices you make through the game are designed to, you know, kind of send you down different paths. We want to make sure the console experience is not quite as different from a visual standpoint. From a control standpoint, they're going to control reasonably similar in terms of, you know, if you're a console player, you're going to be, oh, cool, I can dive right into this game. You know, honestly, if you're any console player, you can dive in even if you're new to the Dragon Age franchise. But the big thing for us is to make sure that, you know, we're playing to the strengths of each one. So there's still some stuff that you're going to do with a mouse. It's a very different interface than it would be if you have a controller. But that in mind, there are a couple of tweaks we're doing to the console experience we haven't really talked about yet. I think we'll give some more tactical options to console players. At the same time, there's some stuff that's happening on PC that will, again, give them that more responsive feeling. So honestly, everyone wins. Dragon Age 2 will be out on the 360, PS3, and the PC on March 8th, 2011 in North America. And here in Europe, you'll be seeing it March 11th.